We're working on our S2000, and now that we have the gearbox out of the car, it's a great time to actually upgrade the detent springs. They can be a little difficult to change while it's in the car. A lot of this is really all up inside the tunnel. It may be possible to change them if you have the tools to get in there and do it, but if you're changing the clutch, if you're doing a transmission swap or engine change or something, and you find yourself with the gearbox pulled out, this is a really great upgrade, and it's really easy to do once the transmission's out. So there are 7 separate locations where the springs go, and right now this transmission is entirely stock, only with this great shift knob on it, and it feels good. It feels very S2000 like. Now, I've driven a lot of S2000s over the years, and this one just feels a bit tired. It has 150,000 miles on it. It's original. It's never been rebuilt. It's never been changed or anything. So it really is going to do a lot to change the way that it shifts and the way that it feels. So let's change some of these springs, and then we'll see. You can kind of see afterwards what those springs are actually going to do. And how it actually changes the feel of this, because right now it's pretty loose, and it's kind of, I don't want to say flimsy, but it's definitely a lot softer than I think it should be, and the springs are definitely going to fix that. So let's change them. The hybrid racing detent springs, like I said, it's going to come in a pack of 7, and you'll notice that one of these is going to be a different color, and so we'll tell you exactly where that one goes and what it does. And I think we'll do that one first. The detent springs, we'll start with the top 2, okay? And this one controls the left-right movement. So you can see the factory spring is silver, ours is black zinc, and it looks a lot longer, but honestly, it's really only a little stiffer. The rate is really similar. It's just a little bit stronger. So we're going to swap those out, and
I'll lose the ball.
Again, the ball is always inside. If you tip it over, it's going to fall out. Or if you've got this thing up on lift or something, be careful. The ball that's in there definitely will roll out. So just by changing that, let's see what it's like. Just with this detent spring changed, this is a lot snappier. It just feels like it's got a new life, This, everything is all the same. It's all stock. But this movement, you really get a sense of a tighter spring and a more direct kind of snap. This feels great. So that's just with one spring. So just that one spring alone changes the way this feels, which is incredible. So let's go ahead and change the front back spring, which is going to change how this feels, and see what that's like. Yeah, so that's the factory spring that came out, and then we're going to put a silver spring in there, which again, it's only a little stiffer. It might be a little taller, but I mean it's just enough. It's just enough to bring some life back into this thing. So this top bolt, it's going to go right in there. It's also worth mentioning that all these get Honda Bond, so we'll make that call out too. If you take these things out, they're all sealed with Honda Bond. Once you put them back in, you're going to have to dab them with Honda Bond, but we'll do that at the end. Now we've only changed 2 springs. We changed this spring and this spring, and it's going to control the left-right like this, and it's going to control the front back now. And again, it's still really easy. It's just a little bit crisper, on every change. And so the S2000 transmission, you have all these springs, it changes every gate. So first, second gate, that's one. Third, fourth gate, that's one. Fifth, sixth, that's its own gate. And then reverse. So just with the 2 springs, we've now sharpened every movement because they're active with every gear change. You can stop here. If you like the way this feels, this is it. You're done. You can leave everything else alone and leave it stop. But if you want to get super crispy with it and have it really, really, really feeling good, then you'll go all in and you'll change all of them, which is what we're going to do. Feels really good. Now that we've got 5 springs to change, and we've got them listed, I mean, we wrote on here just for our own reference, but this is the 5, 6, and you can do this really in any order. There's no particular, there's no specific order, but the first second gate has 2. So there's one here. This is your reverse, and then as you move up the transmission, we've already changed this one. You're going to go here. This is 3, 4. And then this is 1, 2 again. So 1, 2 actually has 2 springs here and here. And again, you're changing this one, this one, this one, and this one. There's 4 on this side. 5, 6 is right here. This is front, back. And this is left, right. So we've already changed these 2. This gets the black spring, this gets a silver spring. All the other ones you're going to change. Let's do that. So now we've got every spring changed. There are new springs in all the spots. And so now what we've done is you've increased that direct gear change at every one. You get that nice snap, no drama. Reverse, feels great. This, I think, is probably the best tuned feel you can get without doing any other modifications to a transmission. This thing feels amazing. It's strong, it's still light, it's not heavy, but it's just so snappy. Feels great. I'm ready to get this back in the car. So again, Hybrid Racing Detent Spring Kit for the S2000. It fits every S2000 transmission, 2000, 2008, 2009, AP1 and AP2. They're all the same. It's an incredible upgrade. And these are the factory S2000 springs. So they're all, again, they all look different, and Honda has their own spec limits for these things. At the end of the day, they could be within service. They may not be, if your transmission or if your car's got a lot of miles on it, they're probably not within spec. Our car's got 150,000 miles. None of these springs are within spec. So they're technically worn. So just by changing these springs, you're going to make the car shift a hell of a lot sharper. So that's it. It's a pretty easy install, obviously, when you have the transmission out of the car. But hey, for the price, I don't think there's a better mod.